In this video, I want to take the pleasure of introducing you to a house that is new to me and may be new to you. I think I've seen it mentioned perhaps 2 or 3 times in the entire fragrance community on YouTube. She's known a bit more widely in the fragrance groups on Facebook, but not here. And I really want to change that because this is some good stuff. I don't necessarily, I mean, this is not my absolute favorite of the samples that she sent me, but it is the first review of hers that I want to do. I want to use this video as to introduce the line, the woman behind the line, and use it to be my first review, which happens to be of a scent called Fig Tree. You can see she sent them on these individual little cards that have the notes and the name of her maison, if you will, the name of her house, is called Sonoma Scent Studio. Thank you so much, Lori, for sending me these samples. They were lovely. So let me talk a little bit about Lori. She's the woman behind it all. Her name is Lori Erickson. She lives in Northern California, as the name of her house will let you know. She lives in the Sonoma Valley, wine country. It must be beautiful. I'm actually kind of jealous. She has pictures on her site that are just, jaw-droppingly beautiful. Her interest in scent developed as a child when she found out that she loved the smell of roses and sweet peas and jasmine that grew in her grandmother's backyard. And then her interest in scent sort of developed into woods and spices and incense. And then those notes have really come to really influence or maybe even dominate her perfume making style. Today, in her Sonoma studio, she blends everything by hand in small batches. She also has a bachelor's degree in environmental earth science and a master's degree in geomechanics from Stanford. So, as someone who is also has a science background, I happen to have a background in physics, not so much geology or geomechanics. I very much respect her academic background. I think it shows that she has not just a heart for perfumery, but also a head for it, and having a finely balanced appreciation of both the intellectual, but also this sort of raw emotional attachment to perfumery is something I really respect and I really admire. She began the company in 2004, and according to her website, it quickly required all of her attention. And when I get into the reviews of some of her scents, you will see why they're very good. So it's no small wonder why they required all of her attention. Her creations, I think, paint compelling portraits of California's natural landscapes, and her work reveals a really intense relationship with nature, like I said, that involves the head and the heart. And her perfumes often happen to just be really mesmerizingly beautiful. So, let me get on to my actual review. Enough of the introduction. So, we're talking about Fig Tree. Show it to you again. We have notes here of leaves, fruit, wood, green fig, lactones, vanilla, tonka, and musk. Okay. Fig Tree comes off as, on the top, it's a very sharp, highly angular, sweet green fig, which is undergirded with the milky quality of coconut-like lactones and dry vanilla. Lactones, by the way, give fragrances, very commonly used in fragrances, they give them a milky feeling, sort of a creaminess, lactones, lactic acid, so you can sort of remember it that way. As it develops into the heart, the fig turns into this dewy fig, and it becomes less aggressively green. There's also something really summery about the appeal. Fig fragrances tend to probably lend themselves towards summer, but there's really something sunshiny about it and bright. It would be just the most spectacular springtime or summertime fragrance, I think. It's almost like she managed to, not only get the fig in the bottle, but also, that sunshine. It's so warm. As it sits on my skin, the greenness of the fig settles down quite a bit, and the woods become drier and more champagne-like, just less sweet, and the musk starts to evolve. Deep in there, I think I detect some floral notes of some kind. It might be a muguet or gardenia, I don't know, but there's an exquisitely faint, lingering floral quality way in the background in the base that sets off the entire perfume with just a lovely distinction. I never did give this a full body wearing, but I can attest. What I did several times was I just applied it on not my palm, but here. But I can attest to the fact that its staying power, where I put it on, its application spot was above average, and I would catch a good whiff of it every time I moved my arm, in like the vicinity of my head. I would pick up some figginess. And I consider that to be the perfect amount of sillage for this type of fragrance. No one wants to smell you 10 feet away, and no one wants to have to come up to you this close to smell you either. 6 to 12 inches is perfect. It has a staying power 6 or 7 hours, and that's on my skin, which eats perfume for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. People who watch my reviews on a regular basis know that my skin does that. To have something that is all natural, or 99% all natural, I don't recall if this is a mixed media scent or not, that has that kind of lasting power is nice. Unfortunately, there's something about lactones. And it's not just the lactones used in figotry. Lactones just don't sit very well on my skin. But I have difficulty wearing something like this. However, I will tell you that I let 3 other people try it. 2 women and 1 man. I didn't really ask their opinions too much or what they smelled, but it smells much better on other people than it does on me. There's something about something that's overly milky that just doesn't develop well on my skin. It's not the fig. I have no problem with fig. I think it's lactose. However, be that as it may, almost anyone who wears this, like I said, I tried it on 3 people. They wear it beautifully, and I'm jealous. I know there are boatloads of fig lovers out there, and every single person who loves fig scents, whether it be, Philosikos, or whether it be a diptyque fig or whatever, you need to try this. It's every modulation of the fig, from fresh and green and buddy to dewy and mature to the over mature, ever so slightly musky fig. So you get a fig like at every single stage of its life. It's almost like she's taking you through the life of the fig as it ages. This comes really, really highly recommended to anyone who wants a serious but not an overly austere green fig scent. that really, like I said, presents the entire life of the fig in one scent. Really exquisitely composed by a perfumer whose many kindnesses and generosity I was very, very happy to experience. Thank you so much, Lori, for the sample, and I look forward to sampling more and writing up more reviews from Sonoma Scent Studio. That's been Fig Tree for you. Bye, guys.